looking for a two-up riding seat for your Indian Scout, then you came to the right place. We're diving in today talking about this Indian Syndicate seat, and it is a really nice seat if you're looking for two-up riding. Let's dive into this right now.
Seat, this thing is just gorgeous. I mean, really has that low profile. I guess they call it a combat style seat, where it's real sleek, it's streamlined, you know, it just kind of flows with the curvatures of the bike here. It doesn't make it too ugly. If you're still wanting to maintain a really nice look that this bike has, this is going to retain that look. And this thing is just made super good. It's got weather resistant vinyl. So if you have the Rogue already, it's the exact same material. This material and the smoother vinyl is all the same as on the Rogue. So literally when I got this seat, I was like, wow, this thing is literally the same thing, except it has the passenger part on it. But I will note one key difference is the slope right here. The back portion goes way up. I would say this is probably a good 5 inches. And then that's gonna give you a little bit of back support on those long rides. And the biggest thing that I've found that this helps out with is under acceleration. So when you're punching it off the line or you're just goosing it while you're out there riding, this right here is gonna keep you planted in the seat. It's not going to allow you to kind of slip out or anything like that. So this is a really good option if you're looking to upgrade a seat, whether or not you're gonna do passenger riding or not, because honestly, looking at this seat, it's not the thickest thing in the world. I mean, you're looking right there, that's probably only a good 7-8 inches tops for your passenger to be sitting on. And honestly, they're gonna be sitting a little bit back, I would say right here versus on up. So it's not a real wide seat. So that's one downside, but that is kind of something that the Scout is not known for, is passengers. But you can do it. So if you're just looking to do short rides with this thing, you're not looking to do like super long rides, then the Syndicate seat is good and the Scout overall is good. My wife can ride on the back of this thing for probably an hour tops before she's like, I just can't take it anymore. My butt's killing me. So we're gonna roll some footage right now of a passenger being on this thing. But like I said, you know, it's not for long trips. That's kind of where the downside is of this bike. But hey, this is a small to mid-sized cruiser. This one technically isn't made for those long trips unless you really transform it into something else. All right, we're gonna do some close-ups. Really get in there so you can see what the stitching looks like. It's just single stitch, but it's a thick stitch. Not a real thin stitching, but overall, the material feels really nice. Weather resistant vinyl. I don't think you're gonna have any trouble with this dry rotting for many, many years, especially if you keep this thing in a garage. This thing is gonna last a lifetime. And cool thing about the Syndicate seat that a lot of the other ones, like the Mustang, some of them don't have, are these really heavy duty brackets. This one has, essentially it's got a big metal frame on the inside and it connects at 4 different points. Some of the other aftermarket seats only have that rear support. So that's one cool thing about this one. Really provides a stable seat for your passenger. I mean, for the rider, you're gonna be planted in regardless. I will say one downside to going to a passenger seat is the inability to just take this seat off without the use of tools. You're gonna have to remove the side plate, you're gonna have to remove the bolts retaining on the brackets there. It's not just a pop off, pop back on type of seat like it was before you put the passenger seat on it. So that is one downside. So if you're looking to change the battery and do all that, you're gonna have to take the seat off. Hopefully you don't have to do that too much. I mean, you're using your battery tender, that kind of thing, to keep that thing maintained. But that's the seat right there. You can tell there's a nice little strap right here. Sometimes I use that to tuck my hat in. And then back here, there's a little insert right there to where you can get a small little, it's not really a sissy bar, it's kind of like a little padded backrest, but it only sticks, it's a padded backrest, but it only sticks up about that far. So I don't know if it would really help too much. I don't really want to get it just because I don't think my wife's going to benefit from it. I mean, I guess it could help if you were to goose it and they weren't holding on too good. Could give them a feeling of security better than what this is, because it's kind of sloped down in the back. Kind of has a downward slope to it. It's not just a perfectly level feel for your passenger. So that could be one positive for it. But nonetheless, I don't think it looks the greatest. So I didn't opt to get that. But maybe a sissy bar in the future might look pretty good on this bike. But that is the seat. Indian Syndicate seat. Pretty high quality option if you ask me. And if you're looking for doing 2-up passenger riding, then this thing's gonna get the job done for you. And it's still gonna look cool. I mean, let's face it, you want your bike to look good. Some of those pillow top looking seats, I don't think that would look good on this bike. I mean, maybe a regular Scout that has all the chromed out accessories, maybe that would fit right in. But this one being blacked out, it's the Rogue model. It's supposed to look aggressive. This seat fits this styling of this bike. All right, I'm just gonna sit on the bike. I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you're sitting on this thing. You know, it doesn't squish down a lot. It's a pretty firm type of padding, but it's soft enough. You know, it's a pretty stiff type of padding, but it's also pretty forgiving in the middle, but the foam around the edges kind of retains that shape. So you're not gonna have to worry about that kind of deteriorating. I will say one thing I like about this shape is that the sides really go up to a V right here, allowing you a lot of room for your legs on each side of the bike here. You know, it doesn't stick out too far. It doesn't create hot spots on the insides of your legs. And that is one cool thing. It's a very nicely shaped seat. So I think you're gonna be happy with this.
All right, guys, now we're gonna dive in, doing a little ride along, showing you kind of how good the seat feels when you're out on the road. So tag along for that. We're gonna get into that right now. So this Indian Syndicate seat is super comfortable. I mean, I've did probably upwards of 3 hours on this bike with ease. I mean, it's got enough padding, but also it retains enough rigidity to where it's not gonna feel too squishy. I mean, it's just right for a low profile combat style motorcycle seat that also gives you the ability to have that passenger 2-up riding. I mean, this is a great option if you're looking to start riding with a passenger. You don't want to spend a ton of money. I mean, it costs around 600 bucks with passenger pegs and this seat to get into the 2-up riding, which honestly is kind of expensive, but you know, it's what it is. The market is kind of crazy all around. But nonetheless, it's a high quality seat that gives you that ability. It's not the widest seat in the world, so your passenger, you know, so your passenger isn't going to be comfortable for a long period of time. I mean, honestly, probably more than an hour, your passenger is going to be complaining that their butt's killing them. So if you know that, what you're getting into, then you're going to be just fine. Don't expect this super plush, nice 12-inch wide seat for your passenger. That's just not the case, but it is nice and solid. The frame underneath the seat is nice and solid, and it doesn't give any, so it's a nice platform for somebody to be sitting on. It has plenty of room for your legs and stuff, so you're not all cramped up, and it's not going to create any hot spots for your legs. It has a nice cutout section there, so you're not gonna have to worry about that. I mean, it's a pretty good seat all around, high quality, the exact same stitching, exact same everything that comes on the Rogues from the factory. So they already have that upgraded seat.
mean, this thing just holds you in, planted nice and firm when you're under acceleration. And this bike has a lot of power, so you really want to be planted when you give it the throttle. So I mean, it's really nice for that. Can't complain overall with this seat. And there's a lot of them out there. Mustang makes some seats, Saddleman. I mean, the list goes on and on for all of those aftermarket seat makers. But honestly, I didn't like the looks as good as I did for this one. And then some of those pillow top seats, they just look too outdated for what I'm going for with this bike. So honestly, this bike right here needs this low profile Syndicate seat to make it look as sharp as possible, at least in my opinion. So there you go, Indian Syndicate seat, great option for passenger 2-up riding.
Guys, thanks for watching another video on the channel. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns, place those in the comment box below. I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. You know, maybe some things that I didn't cover in this video. If you have questions on that, you can throw it in there. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna place a link to the seat in the description box below. And hopefully you liked this video. If you did, like, subscribe. We'd love to have you. We'll catch you in future videos. Thanks for watching.